Hello folks. Today I want to speak about the trends for 2023, and then I'm also going to give a general overview for your sign. Remember, it's a general forecast only. I would advise that you listen to both your moon sign as well as your rising sign, your ascendant sign. And of course, this is according to the sidereal, not the tropical calculation. So please check your sidereal sign. If you're new to Jyotish, then you can check out the chart calculator on my website. It will tell you your moon as well as your rising sign, your ascendant sign. Yeah, so let's get into this. Now, overall, 2023 will be a smoother year than 2022. One of the big signatures for 2023 is the retrograde cycles, including one for Venus. It's coming up in the summer of 2023, which I'll talk about in greater detail when we get closer to it. As usual, when it comes to listening to the transits, bear in mind that your dasha will take priority over transits. So for instance, if you're in a Saturn dasha, then place more emphasis on the Saturn transit, because the dasha acts as the backdrop for what we can expect. Yeah. Now, according to the classics, when it comes to the transits, specifically when I say the classics, I'm talking about Faldipika here. According to the classics, the moon's perspective should be given more importance than the ascendant. And I actually would agree with this, especially when it comes to Saturn and Rahu and Ketu transits. I place more emphasis, more importance on those transits from the perspective of the moon. Now, the first day of the year starts with a Moon-Rahu conjunction in Parani at approximately 17 degrees. There's a Moon trine Sun aspect happening at the same time, which usually is, of course, harmonious, but Rahu and Mars are impacting the luminaries at this time. Both the Sun and the Moon are afflicted when we begin the year. Mars aspects the Sun from Taurus, and Rahu is aspecting the Moon in conjunction with the Moon. So there's an internal harmony, but there may be some obstructions from the outside world. Yeah, that's kind of the beginning pattern that we see of 2023. Yeah. Now, for some people, there also may be sort of like a feeling of restlessness that may be lingering in the beginning of the year. Relationships can feel a bit distant as well, with that Saturn-Venus conjunction in the beginning of the year. But this will improve. This will improve and things will change. You'll see the first sign of change mid-January, and then again February when the Saturn-Venus conjunction splits up. Mars starts the transit in the year in Rohini, in Virgotam. So that's quite strong Mars transit. So be cautious with your speech, what you say, what you eat, dealings with family members. We're talking about Taurus here. Also check and double check details with money matters. First 6 weeks of the year, Venus and Saturn are traveling together. So it could be a good time actually for signing agreements, business agreements especially. And as I said, overall, it's a much smoother year than last year. Last year had started with the Kalsarp yoga, with so much concentration in Scorpio, the sign of trauma, sudden endings, sudden beginnings. This year, the concentration of energy is in Aquarius, Pisces, and most of all in Aries, the sign of new beginnings. In 2023, we will be seeing a lot of activity around these 3 zodiac signs. Saturn leaves Capricorn and enters Aquarius in the beginning of the year, which is positive, as well as Jupiter in Pisces is also good. And that's how we start the year. We have Jupiter joining Rahu in Aries in the spring, which will balance the erratic and fiery energy of Rahu in Aries. Of course, it doesn't help Jupiter. This is known as the Guru Chandal Yoga, which is in effect from April till October. And it can bring some changes in the political landscape. It will propel many people to seek knowledge, though check the sources that you rely on at this time. And if you're seeking advice from experts, then see if you can get more than one opinion before taking action at this time, right? Between April and October, when Jupiter is with Rahu. Then we end the year with Rahu moving into Pisces in late October and Jupiter remaining in Aries alone, which is excellent. Aquarius is what? Aquarius is desire. It is independence. It's taking an unorthodox path. Change in lifestyle, perhaps. Pisces is what? Liberation, letting go, seeing things from the collective, the bigger perspective. And Aries, the 3rd sign that gets activated this year, that sees the most action this year, is all about taking risks. It's all about new beginnings. It's all about being pioneering, daring to take chances. So this is the year to do it. Check, of course, your dasha to see if it's supportive also. Yeah. The theme of the year is letting go of the past, healing the past, but more than that, starting over, forging a new path, perhaps away from the traditional and taking some chances. Being bold in your thought, in your action, being fearless, taking the plunge, whatever that applies and however that applies to your life. The year will start on a little bit of a pessimistic note with that Venus and Saturn in Capricorn. People will be more conservative with spending, less expressive in relationships, perhaps. But once Saturn moves into Aquarius in mid-January, and even more so when Jupiter moves into Aries in the spring, the year picks up momentum. Confidence and optimism will return. And the year ends on a positive note with all the planets well placed and strong. The Nakshatras that get impacted for most of the year are Shatabisha, Revati, and Ashwini. And of course, in the beginning of the year, Dhanishta. For most of the year, Shatabisha and Ashwini are magnified due to the presence of Saturn, Jupiter, and Rahu there. This suggests a big emphasis on healing. Saturn, as I mentioned, starts the year in Dhanishta. Dhanishta means bringing to earth. Essentially like a vacuum, which is sucking things from a particular zone to another zone. So essentially manifesting things, manifesting ideas into reality. It's sort of like a make it happen energy. So if you have a planet there, Saturn touching it will of course activate it. But this may slow down progress for whatever that planet is. There will be a desire and an impulse to make things happen, but there will also be a frustration because of Saturn's movement over it. But this changes in March when Saturn moves into Shatabisha. Saturn in Shatabisha means a good time to do any sort of community work, any kind of service-orientated work. Jupiter, of course, starts the year in Uttarabhadra, but then it goes into Revati in late February. In Uttarabhadra, it's an excellent time to travel. In Revati, Jupiter can show his poetic side. It's a good time to dream big, take a leap of faith. And then when Jupiter moves into Ashwini, this brings a great time for any work connected to foreign places. It's also an excellent time for healing activities. Academic activities, including new education endeavors, are good now. anything connected to the masses can see progress with this Jupiter's movement. See progress, see growth. Like, for example, if you're a content creator yourself, this is an excellent time to get some recognition when Jupiter moves into Ashwini. You can experience success in taking risks related to businesses, especially business abroad. You can also experience success in taking risks when it comes to starting new relationships. Other important dates to watch for are, of course, eclipse times, as well as the movement of Rahu Ketu. Rahu will continue its journey in Aries till October, and Ketu will transit through Libra until late October. And then, of course, Rahu enters Pisces and Ketu enters Virgo. The first eclipse of the year is on April the 20th, 2023 in the sign of Aries, caused by Rahu in Ashwini. We have another eclipse on May the 5th in Libra in Vishaka. Then yet another one on October 14th in Chitra. And finally the last one in Aries on October 28th in the nakshatra of Ashwini. Yeah. Now, for most of 2023, the air and fire signs will experience the most dramatic changes, especially Aries and Libra. And of course, this is even more so if you have any planets here, right? If you have Sun, Moon, or Ascendant in Aries or Libra, then you will be directly impacted. Of course, if you have planets in Vishaka, Ashwini, and Chitra, have a look at who these planets are, their lordships, whether you're experiencing their dashas. If so, you will again be directly impacted. October 2023 is probably the most dramatic month of the year. October 30th, the nodes will change their position. Rahu moves into Pisces, Ketu in Virgo. April and October to early November can bring some big shifts for many people. One important event, of course, taking place is the Venus retrograde cycle in 2023. Venus starts its retrograde cycle on July the 23rd in Leo at approximately 4 degrees of Magha. In Leo, Venus gets the aspect of Rahu, Saturn, and Jupiter. Venus retreats back into Cancer, into Ashlesha on August the 7th. And here, it doesn't get any aspects. Right? So then Venus will go direct on September 4th at 18 degrees of Cancer in Ashlesha. Now, Venus's movement into the luminary signs can bring some, it will bring like a reassessment in our relationships. Yeah. And at this time, Ketu is still in Libra. It can also bring a reassessment in our domestic situations, in our decisions pertaining to our agreements with others, whatever those agreements may be, business, personal. It's an excellent time to reassess all these matters when Venus is in, especially when Venus is in Cancer, because when Venus is in Cancer, it's away from the pressure and the gaze of all the slow-moving planets, right? Because when Venus is in Leo, it receives the aspect of all the slow-moving planets, Saturn, Jupiter, and Rahu. So see if you have planets in Leo or Cancer to see how you will be impacted. And of course, I'm going to speak in further detail about this later in the year. Yeah. So now let's look at the signs. I'm going to, as usual, focus on Jupiter and Saturn's movements. So these are just some highlights for you. Yeah. We start with Aries, as usual. And for Aries, you're very much in the spotlight this year. All the action takes place for you in your first house and your 11th house. It's time for you to think big, take some risks, move forward in life, and move forward with life with some confidence. You will start the year with Saturn in Capricorn and Jupiter in Pisces, and Rahu causing some disturbance in Aries. So, in the beginning of the year, you may still be feeling drained. Maybe you're sorting out domestic issues. Maybe you're unraveling career matters. Yeah. It will still be sort of nose to the grindstone for some people. Then Saturn moves into your 11th house in mid-January, around the same time that your ruler, Mars, will go forward. So this will feel great, and you will feel much more at ease, and you will also feel much more at ease to be visible rather than working behind the scenes. In March, when Mars moves into Gemini, and April, when Jupiter moves into Aries, you'll get your full confidence back. And you can then make some very big leaps in all matters of life. With Jupiter's 12th house transit coming to an end in the spring, you will get your Aries zeal back and should be able to forge ahead. Oh. Throughout the year, the planets are supportive for you. I would advise taking the first 2 months of the year to write down your goals and your plans and do some planning. And by March, be ready to take some decisive action. You can now strive for your dreams, your ambitions, with just a little bit of risk-taking, and can achieve them this year. It's an excellent Saturn transit, very supportive for Aries. This is the best Saturn transit. And irrespective of whether you are in a Saturn dasha, you should maximize this positive, dignified Saturn transit. Maximize it to your advantage. Being clear regarding your objectives and goals is the start. Saturn also aspects Aries, Leo, and Scorpio. So you need to exercise some caution, but you can do that easily with some planning and foresight. Yeah. Jupiter in Pisces will continue to bring expenses. Perhaps it could be related to home matters. It could be related to long distance travel because of its aspect to the 4th house. If you wanted to take a spiritual pilgrimage, you want to take a retreat of some kind, this transit is very supportive for that. Jupiter also aspects 8th house. So a good year for taking some risks with investments, especially with property matters. When Jupiter moves into Aries by April, you will feel boosted with both Jupiter and Rahu transiting there. But you'll still have to exercise some caution with Saturn's gaze on Aries, even though you'll want to speed ahead with life at this time. From Aries, Jupiter aspects your 5th and 9th houses, so these areas will get a boost. Any actions connected to improving your image and your life will be favorable, including travel, education, business, change in image, change in appearance. Even if you started to do something completely different in life, this is the time to do it, because the transits are supportive. It's an excellent transit for those that are self-employed. It's Jupiter moving into Aries, in any capacity, right? Or if you have your own business, very, very good for that. With Rahu moving into your with Rahu still in Aries, you will continue to get a push to improve your life and take risks. Essentially, it's a time for new beginnings for you, Aries. And it's a really very beneficial time to take some big leaps. Yeah. I would say though, do be vigilant though the first couple of months of the year. Right, because Rahu's not exactly dignified in Aries. Saturn is in Capricorn, just moving into Aquarius. Jupiter is in your 12th house. So some risks in the beginning of the year can result in losses. But when Jupiter's transit in Aries, Saturn getting its foot into Aquarius again, this will of course change to a great degree. At the very least, your confidence will be back. You can get into new relationships. Whether they're business, whether they're personal. Others will bring opportunities your way. Be mindful of health. Stress can be high with all of the changes happening, especially in the second half of the year. Overall, it's an eventful year for you as eclipses are taking place in the Aries Libra axis. The April eclipse is especially promising. A brand new path can open up, one which you have been waiting for a long time, and perhaps, and especially related to a new relationship. Yeah. Taurus, what's happening for you? All the action is happening in the 10th and 11th houses till April. Then, of course, Jupiter moves into your 12th house. Yogark Saturn, your best planet, is transiting your 10th house, which is a big blessing. And it will protect you to a great degree, as this is a very beneficial position of Saturn for Taurus and can take you to great new heights, provided you place some effort toward your goals. Till April, you have another auspicious transit. You have Jupiter continuing to move through your 11th house, which is excellent for income, achievements, married life, all kinds of partnerships. Mars in Taurus could have brought some disagreements, though. It could have brought some anger in relationships. But Mars goes direct in January, which means you can calmly resolve some issues. Yeah, mid-January onward. Jupiter moving to the 12th house, joining Rahu in April, can boost your expenses. With Saturn's aspect on Leo this year, these expenses can be related to property matters. Rahu in Aries can bring a big move. It could be somewhere abroad. Unpredictable travel could also feature this year. This transit of Rahu can create some restlessness and some problems with sleep also. So meditation practices may be helpful for you this year. Your intimate relationships, including marriage or serious partnership, may go through some changes in the first half of the year. With the Mars transit and Jupiter moving into Aries, Saturn in career house can help greatly now. It will make you work hard, but the time that you spend on your career will be rewarding. It will balance out problems you experience in your personal life. Eclipses continue in your 6-12 axis, so pay attention to health and work matters. That's important now. The May eclipse especially can affect you quite personally. The end of the year brings Rahu to your 11th house, which is an excellent transit for all Taurus, especially Taurus moon. Yeah. So, next up, we have Gemini. Gemini, for you, the 9th, 10th, and 11th houses are impacted this year. Excellent. A lot of visibility. Saturn finally leaves your 8th house and goes to the 9th house, which can feel like a big relief, especially if you are a Gemini moon. Now you can see an upward movement of that Saturn transit from the 9th till the 11th houses. Saturn in the 9th can open up opportunities abroad. It can help you move abroad if you thought about doing that. It will bring changes in your belief system. And the relationship with your father may go through some emotional changes also this year. Jupiter will move from your 10th to 11th house. Positive shift. Excellent Jupiter transit. It will fare well for income, for travel, for relationships. Though with Rahu there and Saturn's aspect, make sure you do things ethically, because otherwise they can come back to haunt you. Yeah. You have the eclipses happening in the 5-11 axis, which can bring some material growth. Rahu in the 11th can bring some new connections, new relationships, new source of income, and things can manifest quite quickly. Because this is Aries that we're talking about, and Rahu does well in the 11th. Great time to take chances. You can meet someone special with whom you connect with instantly, especially when Jupiter starts to transit there. But if that does happen, make sure you take your time to get to know them, right? Because Jupiter and Rahu together can cause some deception. Yeah. But Jupiter in Aries, when Rahu moves into Pisces in late October, Jupiter in Aries will remain there And that is especially prosperous for Gemini people, particularly if you're a Gemini ascendant. But both moon and ascendant will benefit from this excellent Jupiter transit. Yeah. So next we have Cancer. For Cancer, all the activity is happening in your 8th and your 10th houses due to Jupiter and Saturn's movement. You will see some big life changes due to Saturn's movement into your 8th house, especially for Cancer moon. Don't be surprised if you decide to leave behind many things in your old life with this Saturn transit, including relationships that are not working. You can experience some big shifts in your career, your reputation, your image this year. I would say go slow if possible and act ethically, especially with that Jupiter and Rahu conjunction in the 10th house, because that's going to make you very visible. If you're a Cancer moon, slow down where possible, because Saturn can bring sudden shifts in your life direction. So you may try a completely different approach to your life path and do something that you never planned to do before. Yeah. Saturn in your 8th house can also mean some restrictions when it comes to matters related to finances, loans, debts. So be cautious, I would say, in your spending. Jupiter in the 9th house till April could have you feeling optimistic about the future. Some travel could feature, and if so, it would be highly beneficial for you. Jupiter moving into your 10th house from April is good for your domestic situation and could also help improve your finances. From here it aspects that Earth Tricone, right? 2, 6, 10. So it can bring more career opportunities. It's a good time to save money though. Rahu in Aries in your 10th means you will start to get noticed more in your career, and you can make some big plans that will materialize. When Rahu moves into your 9th, the end of the year, your focus will be more on travel. Some of you could move then. If you're waiting for immigration paperwork to come through, this is the time that it would do so. It's a good time to change your beliefs also. It's a good time to move, as I mentioned. It's a good time to travel. It's a good time to reassess your image, how you are perceived in the world. It's a good time for a new life path. Make most of the beginning of the year as you have a very supportive and strong Jupiter transit from January till April. And at that time Jupiter doesn't get the gaze of Saturn either. Yeah. So, who's next? Leo. Leo. So for Leos, your 7th and 9th houses are getting activated in 2023. The Dharma Tricone is particularly activated, 159. And even Venus's long transit in the summer will be in Leo for quite some time, making this a year to change your image, your appearance, even your status could change, making you very visible in some way. Yeah, so don't shy away from that. Both Saturn and Jupiter this year want to increase your visibility. In 2022 and for early 2023, it was only Rahu aspecting your sign, which may have increased visibility in a negative way, or at least not so positive. But now you'll have Saturn in Digbala in your 7th house, in its Mool Tricone sign, very strong Saturn. It will also make you very focused with your relationships, changing them, improving them, and only keeping around those relationships that are working, that are beneficial, that are practical. Right? Saturn moving through your 7th house will make you more practical about relationships. And this is especially the case if you're a Leo ascendant. It will give you a more serious tone to your work. It will increase your presence amidst the masses, so you can get more popularity depending on what you do. This is, of course, a Sash Yoga, right? Because of Saturn's transit. So it will make you practical. It will help you to avoid uncertainties that lead to fearful situations, that lead to instability. It's a good time to develop or even start new relationships that will stay in your life for a long time. This is especially the case if you're a Leo ascendant. It can make you more sincere with your work, with your job, which is positive, but you'll have to pick your job. Contemplate this when switching gears, because you'll have many choices if you are looking to replace your career, or if you are looking to do something completely different. When Jupiter shifts into Aries in April, you'll see an overall life improvement. From here, it will aspect Leo, as well as your 5th house. So this is an excellent Jupiter transit for you, Leo. Aspecting your 1st house can bring a sense of optimism, and its aspect on the 5th is great for increasing profits, business, meeting your goals. Travel can bode well this year as well. It can be profitable, it can be beneficial. Rahu continues in your 9th house, and it can shift your mindset in some ways, change your beliefs in some ways, help you take a new life path. And this would be actually an excellent year to do that if you're doing that. A new direction in life. Changing your outdated beliefs. Changing your beliefs that are connected to traditions that you grew up with but are no longer helping you. You may also consider a spiritual pilgrimage this year. Jupiter, Saturn, and Rahu are aspecting Leo this year. So there's a lot of focus on you. It's certainly a year where you can completely transform your life and experience a complete rebirth of sorts. Yeah. Virgo, what's happening for you? For you, the Sthana houses are getting activated, 6 and 8. Yeah. As well as, of course, your 7th house in the beginning of the year. You have a very good 6th house Saturn transit coming up, which can lead to promotions, growth, new healthier routines. If you're experiencing any illnesses or health issues, you can find the solution now. Saturn in the 6th may bring some problems to the surface, so you can deal with them once and for all. Jupiter moving through Pisces, you will receive blessings in your 7th house. And this is still relevant for you until April. People will perceive you in a more favorable light. Any issues that you had with relationships, you can find a good, amicable solution with this wonderful Jupiter transit. Jupiter shifts to your 8th house in April. This will give you a little bit of a shake-up in your domestic situation, which can change. But your marriage and partnership could also see some changes with this Jupiter moving in your 8th house. It's a good time for investments, but I would say wait till the end of the year. Wait till the end of the year after Rahu moves to Pisces. Rahu through Aries in your 8th house can bring some unwanted changes, ups and downs. So be prepared, especially around eclipse times. Keep a low profile around eclipse times, I would say. Rahu will move to your 7th house in late October. So this is a big nodal transit coming up for you toward the end of the year. The Saturn's transit will help you navigate 2023. Yeah. Libra, what's happening for you? For you, all the action takes place in your 5th and 7th house. So relationships, children, business, all these areas will be impacted this year. Jupiter moving into your 7th house in April will balance out some of the challenges that you've been experiencing. And it will also help you with the changes that can come quite suddenly. It will give you an energetic boost, and you'll feel lighter, you'll feel more confident because it's aspecting your 1st house, your moon, your ascendant. This Jupiter transit gets better after Rahu moves away from Aries in October. So the year will gradually improve for you, starting with Saturn's movement into Aquarius at the beginning of the year. Moving from Capricorn, which is your 4th house, to your 5th house is a blessing. Saturn moving through your 5th house could mean that your children need more attention and care, though. There may be some disagreements with your significant other as well at this time, so be watchful there. Rahu in Aries till October is a big transit for you because that's your 7th house. So relationships will probably need your full attention now. And in fact, the entire year, because Jupiter will go there also in April. If you're coupled up, then you may see some surprises crop up with regard to your partner, or you could be second guessing yourself about their role in your life with Rahu's presence there. But I would say don't make big decisions if you're in a long-term relationship. Wait it out. If you're single, you'll be very keen to find a new partner, and you will likely have many opportunities to do that. Lots of changes in store for you due to the eclipse axis in Libra and Aries. Overall, the year slowly improves for you, and you will feel the instant shift when Saturn moves into Aquarius in January. Yeah. Scorpio, what's happening for you? For you, the 4th and 6th houses are getting activated in 2023. The year starts with Saturn moving to your 4th house, so you could still be feeling a little bit out of sorts at the beginning of the year. But you have a very supportive Jupiter transit to balance things out. And I think you will feel it even more if you're a Scorpio moon. But Jupiter in your 5th house in Pisces will balance this out. As I said, it will give you an energetic push, and you will feel lighter, more confident. Because from Pisces, Jupiter is aspecting your 1st house, moon ascendant. And it's also aspecting your 9th house, which is excellent. When Jupiter moves into Aries in April, it will transit your 6th house. This could mean some health issues may pop up now. It would be a great time to review your daily routines. And I would say include more time for rest, include more time for exercise, include more time for good food. Work will be good during this Jupiter 6th house transit. Rahu in 6 is a favorable transit. You could find solutions to long-standing conflicts, problems, health matters. So lots of activity in the 6th house for you this year. Career and money matters could see some long-awaited changes also in 2023. If you were to make some big moves, it's good to do so in the first part of the year, if possible. All year though, Jupiter, Rahu, and Saturn aspect your 10th house. Yeah, they aspect Leo. So career will be a big focus for you in 2023, and you can see some improvements there, certainly. If you're given the opportunity to go abroad for career changes, it's an excellent time this year to do that. Especially the eclipse times can bring some good surprises for you this year. Yeah. So we have Sagittarius next. Sagittarius, for you, Saturn moves into your 3rd house. This is an excellent transit for you. It's a relief for you to finally come out of Sati and experience a growth-fueled Saturn transit, which will make you more visible. This Saturn transit will help you beat your competitors this year. So with any kind of competition, you will do very well, whether it's in work, whether it's in sport. Jupiter starts off the year in your 4th house, good for career matters, but you also may feel like retreating during this Jupiter transit and quite content at home. So it may be a good time for your domestic life in general. Then Jupiter moves into your 5th house in Aries in April, which is an excellent placement for you. Because from here it will aspect your 1st house. You'll feel more optimistic, you'll feel more content in life. It's a great year to make changes to your image, appearance, your social status. It can give you a boost for income matters also. Bring some blessings with making new connections, meeting new people. It's an excellent Jupiter transit. If you wanted to meet someone special, you can do that this year. If you make some effort, take the initiative. Rahu continues its transit into your 5th house, also aspecting your 1st house. So there will be a lot of focus for like simply reinventing yourself or your life in some way in 2023. This will make risk-taking activities appealing as well, and more opportunities coming your way if you wanted to do something creative with so much focus on the 5th house. Jupiter and Rahu transit will give you a confidence boost. If you have children, this may bring some challenges to how you respond to them at this time, so be watchful there. But overall, it's an excellent year for Sagittarius. Coming out of Sati will feel like a rebirth of sorts for you. No? Capricorn, what's happening for you? So if you're a Capricorn moon, this is your final stage of Sadhisati now. And less intense than last year. And even if you're a Capricorn ascendant, this will feel good, because I think hosting Saturn in your first house is the hardest. It's the hardest place to host Saturn. Saturn's movement into Aquarius will feel less stressful for most of you than that Capricorn movement. Yeah. All areas of life, partnership, career, domestic front, can show more clarity for you now. Jupiter continues in Pisces in your third house. This transit could give a boost to income matters and bring some blessings with making new connections, meeting new people. If you wanted to meet someone special, make an effort and take the initiative, as you could certainly meet someone that you like. Jupiter's movement into Aries will be a relief, as Rahu is sitting in the fourth house, which could have brought problems on the domestic front. Could have brought a move that perhaps you didn't want to make. With Jupiter there, it can balance some of those problems that cropped up and have you feeling more optimistic and content. From its fourth position, it will give you opportunities to travel abroad as well, this Jupiter transit. And you can see positive growth in investments at this time. It's a good time to look into moving home, redecorating your home. Rahu in the fourth can make you restless with your home surroundings though. And it can also give you a disinterest in your career life as well, with Ketu sitting there in the 10th. So a move could be on the cards for you this year. But be cautious about any advice you seek from experts now. Because even though Jupiter is supportive in that fourth house, you also have Rahu there until late October. Yeah. But toward the end of the year, in late October, Rahu moves into your third house, which will be an excellent transit for you. So gradually you can see an improvement for 2023, Capricorn. Yeah. Aquarius, what's happening for you? So for you, the first and third houses are being activated in 2023. If you're an Aquarius moon, you are now experiencing your Sadhisati period, the heart of the Sadhisati period. So vitality can be low for you at the moment. Saturn in your first house, if you're an Aquarius ascendant, can also bring some health issues. So look out for your health. Take extra time out when required, which can be difficult for an Aquarius to do. But do get into the habit of doing that with the Saturn transit. This Saturn transit can, of course, also impact marriage, partnership. So pay more attention to your partner at this time, because you can easily neglect them. Yeah. Jupiter's second house transit in Pisces will act as a protective cover, though, for relationship issues that may crop up. Jupiter's transit through your third house from April can lead to a boost in confidence. It can benefit your relationships generally and help you make new connections. Yeah. You continue to have an excellent Rahu transit this year in the third house. This can give you the confidence to take risks, try new things, increase your income, increase your connections. If you're single, it's an excellent time to date. You may have many choices in front of you, but you may not, you may be quite critical of these choices because of that Saturn aspecting the 7th as well. So be watchful there. Change in job or residence is possible this year for you, with Mars moving through that fourth house in the beginning of the year. But I would say wait it out if possible. It can also cause problems with your domestic life in some way. Yeah. Rahu moves into Pisces at the end of the year, so income could increase, but family and domestic issues can crop up or continue to affect you throughout this year. Yeah. So now we speak about Pisces. So for Pisces, you would probably have been the only sign that had a great 2022. In 2023, your 12th and 2nd houses are getting activated. If you're a Pisces moon, you're going to be beginning your Sadhisati phase now. With Sadhisati, it's not entirely difficult though. In fact, depending on Saturn's placement in your chart, it can bring enormous growth in especially in career matters, especially if you're trying to do a new skill, a new education. I find that Sadi time is excellent for those endeavors. Yeah, especially education endeavors. And other factors to determine where Saturn can be challenging and where it is helpful during Sadi is looking at your Ashtak Virgo points. Yeah. Jupiter remains positive for you throughout the year. It starts in Pisces, which is excellent for you, especially those with Pisces ascendant. Then it goes into the second house, another favorable Jupiter transit for Moon and Lagna both. So you should feel positive and confident, and this will balance out that Saturn transit to a high degree. Yeah, when Jupiter moves into Aries in April, it will connect with your second house. Excellent for family life, excellent for connecting with others, good for making money. Opportunities to make money can come up. Rahu's already there since April, so you can see more opportunities, especially wealth building chances. Though family life could take a back seat with Rahu moving in your second house. Jupiter transits are very supportive for you again this year. And Rahu as well. Rahu, in fact, prepare for a life-changing Rahu transit coming up later this year when Rahu moves into your first house in Pisces in late October. Yeah, so another eventful year for Pisces. Well, that's all for now, folks. Wishing everyone a healthy, happy, successful 2023. Cheers.